Hello, welcome to the Esoteric Software Stream. My name is Erika, and today we will continue the app illustrations that we were doing the previous time. We did the first two that you can see animated in the top corner, and now today we're going to be doing the other two. We have the delivery box here that is supposed to be flying. We also have sort of a flying house in here. We're going to put that down. I imagine the scene where this cloud is multiplied multiple times so that it looks like this box is floating and like reaching your destination. And for this one, I was thinking of doing something where the hamburger like gets done or like expands and then, or I don't know, maybe like cards that are being shuffled, you know, so they expand but then go back in place. But it would be fun to like make a version that is suitable for Spine Essential first, just because I feel like we don't have enough essential examples and you can do so much with essential. Basically, this whole animation is suitable for Spine Essential, and this one too, except for the fact that I couldn't resist the allure of using meshes, and so I did like this little control here that creates a perspective on the pan. Okay, so for this illustration specifically, meal delivery, what are we going to do? We're going to create bones for each of these parts. And then probably we're going to multiply some of these. I'm going to move this down. Okay, so it's hidden. I plan to have some of these buildings move at different speeds to create the illusion that the landscape is like in perspective or parallax or something. I'm going to make a simplified version of these, and then I'm going to add like the 3D-ness of the box. Maybe one quick way of adding bones for each of these elements here all in one go is to compress all of these, which by the way you can do by clicking this button here, which collapses all of the children here. Okay, so we see them nice when we reopen. The same can be achieved if you right click. Okay, like this we collapsed, or if I right click again, I expand them all, so that's a shortcut. We are going to select everything else like this and create a bone for it. I don't think we're going to be needing the bone here for this two elements part. Tree trunk, I don't need you. I'm gonna be choosing new bone, and that automatically creates a bone for me. See, I'm in local axis in the middle of each of these images. So we're going to be reparenting this tree trunk that I unparented earlier by pressing P and then choosing the bone tree top so that it's parented to the correct thing. If we need the pivot point to be placed differently, then we can move these bones using the images compensation in this case, because we don't have other bones, to place the pivot point somewhere else. Like for example, if we want to be able to do this sort of movement where we use shear to make it seem like this building is, I don't know, so fast that it distorts like this, then we may want to place this even lower. So we could have a pivot point placed a bit more down. Actually, we could use it also here. And then here, I want these bones not to be in the middle of the wings because we need them to be flapping. And if they try to flap like this, okay, let's disable images selection. Okay, like this it's not very credible, right? So we need to move this pivot point more around where the wing is attached to the rest of the body and should deliver the flapping. And then I disable images selection again. Remember to disable also bones and images compensation, otherwise it will look like everything is broken and you won't know why. We can move to animate mode and start animating all these buildings and these parts. For the box, we are going to be doing something super simple once again. Oh, that's the root. I'm gonna disable the visibility so I don't accidentally click on it. Then I'm gonna select this bone here and I'm gonna key the translation here. Okay, because I'm seeing the other ones and that's confusing me, I'm going to hide the other skeletons. I disabled pan cooking, list searching. Okay, no more visible, we focus just here. I'm going to set, okay, the length of these here at the moment, but then it's going to be changing. Aha! What do we notice? I'm moving the box but the wings aren't following the box. That could be a problem. We want the wings to be attached to the box. Let's go back to setup, select the wings, and then we press P to reparent them to the box like this. You can also drag and drop them under the box in the tree. Okay, let's go back to animate mode. It's doing this motion, it's not great, so we do a box selection, apply curves, play a little bit with the curves until we get a cute motion. I think it's gonna be fine like this. Then let's get the flapping also going. So I'm going to select both wings here. You place it up. Actually, let's do it for now and then we'll find a way to get it done the other way. Okay, now it's doing this. Ooh, so lame, right? How do we make it nice? For starters, if we just rotate it like this, it's not gonna look natural, not in a million years. We need to add things. Well, I'm always tempted to add curves because curves tend to improve things. However, we have to consider the motion that is happening here. When the box is up, the wing flaps cannot be also up. We could animate it multiple styles. We could also get this to be like this at the start and at the end. Then we could make it so that it's simply animated through scale like this. Copy. I am experimenting. Okay, and then we paste it like this. And then it's flapping like this, but this is like a butterfly. If you're on Spine Essential, this works. So it could be doing this. Or at a different, slightly different angle. Maybe it's like this. Yeah, as I thought. Let's try a different style of animation for the wings. Rotation, translation, scale. I'm keying them all. Then copy, paste at the end. So I have this loop. Like hummingbird sort of motion. So if I were to do this, I would need to add these two. Here we apply curves. So it would be something like this. And the third option is going to be similar, more similar to that one that we saw earlier. So here we get them to be up like this. Copy, paste. In the middle, we get them to basically do this. So we apply curves. So they are doing this. Ooh, it's so slow. We're gonna make it faster later. Here, we can get them to do this. We have to choose. Here, it needs to like kind of go like this. And then when it goes up, it doesn't go the same way, but it oscillates the opposite direction. And that's my favorite way of getting the wings to flap. Alright, so we got the little box to flap, to do its thing. We're going to make this faster now, because this is so slow. Let's go back here. I'm gonna... when I press so violently, the spacebar is to deselect so I see all of the keys. So it's easier to resize my animation like this. We are going to also animate here the various elements moving to the side. Of course, this is going to be too short, so we need to make it last longer. Okay, let's start with the cloud because it's simple. We're going to get the cloud to do this. Maybe it starts from here. And then it arrives at the end. We need to animate the transparency and then maybe have multiple of these clouds. We can have this cloud do this same motion twice, like this. To get rid of the cloud going back and then doing this motion again, we select this first key here and apply the stepped curve so that there is no interpolation. Now I accidentally selected both, so let's unselect. Let's select only this key, stepped. Okay, now this is linear, then step, then linear again. Then we need to animate the visibility of this cloud. So let's select the slot, and then we're going to play with color. We want it visible here. Let's key the color. We want it visible until here. And then at the beginning, we're getting it to be completely not visible. We copy this key around here. Then it goes back to the beginning and basically we just copy this and paste it here. Okay, so now it's visible again and then it disappears. If we want it slower instead, then we can maybe have only one loop. So we could delete this, make it slower. Okay, we get it to do this. And then we are going to duplicate this cloud. Maybe let's have 3 clouds. Notice that I'm duplicating this cloud after I animated it, so I don't have to copy and paste these keys. I just have to edit them. This I'm gonna place maybe here. This I'm gonna place keys maybe here, maybe here, just so we don't have them all in the same place. This could start here, but you see, if I don't have the keys in the beginning, then it's gonna be stuck there until it gets some animation keys. So I have to make sure to copy these keys at the beginning again, so now it can start later than the other clouds. So I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna make this tinier, or maybe like this, so it has a slightly different proportion. Then I bring it to the beginning, and I have a cloud that is slightly different than the other one. Maybe I do it this way instead. And then I bring it to the beginning. Let's see. I could also just offset this. Okay, to offset I need to have the first and last key to be the same, so I'm gonna copy this here, and then I offset this, maybe so it begins like this, so we don't have a moment of void here. I feel like this cloud should actually appear around here. So to maintain the same speed that I have currently, I'm gonna add the key here, and the key of where I want to clamp this, so it's going to be around here, and delete this other key and this too, because I don't need it, and move these ones without the offset closer to where it's supposed to start, so that we retain the correct speed, but we fixed this so it begins where we want it. Then of course, if we don't have an initial key, we're going to see the cloud stuck in place in the beginning, so let's copy these keys and paste them at the very beginning like this. This cloud here, because it starts so far away. So we're gonna get it to start around here, and then it reaches here. This I like where it disappears, it's perfect, but I want it to start around here. That's it. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna delete these keys, I'm gonna move these here, and then I'm gonna key these keys here in the beginning. So now it starts at the right point. Then if I want to, I can also have this cloud happen twice, because there's enough space for that to happen. So now we notice that there's a point where there's basically no clouds. So I think I'm gonna offset this one so that it covers that part where there's basically no clouds. Like, oh yeah, here is where there are no clouds. So I'm going to do what I did with the other cloud earlier. So copy the keys here, paste them here. Actually, I can paste it closer like this. Then we get to do this. So maybe it starts with the cloud around here, so it's already present. Okay, maybe it starts from here. Oh, okay, now it's better. Okay, then we have to get the buildings at the bottom to do the same. I actually said that I wanted these to move at different speeds, so I'm gonna get them like to be outside of the view. Okay, I'm gonna animate them one by one. Can I recycle something from the others? I'm gonna get this to start from outside, and at the end it's going to be here, so it goes rather slow. Let's see. Yes, that's good. We get this to not be visible. Okay, we want it fully visible around here. And around here is the last time that it's gonna be fully visible. Then here we get this to be not visible. And we copy this key also at the end. Okay, then we have like a blueprint for the others. I can copy the key here. And let's say that I want to apply this to this little house that is distant. I'm gonna paste. Okay, this makes the house go there. But I'm going to select all of the keys and then use key adjust to bring the house outside, so that when it ends at roughly the same spot as the other. Then I'm gonna offset it, of course. Okay, let's copy these keys, and then let's select the house distant, and paste these keys. So they're traveling together, which is very sweet, but we need them to actually be offset, go at their own pace. So I'm going to select this house distant and apply the offset. Oh no, it needs to be the same in the beginning and at the end. So I'm gonna be keying here this translation, and then I'm gonna copy the key here and paste it at the end. So I didn't change the speed, I just added another key. Okay, let's offset now in the middle, so it has this different pace compared to the other. We can apply the same logic also to the other parts, can we do this the easy way and just copy keys here, apply them to this building, and just get this to be faster by getting the keys closer? Yes, that works. Just to differentiate one of them, I'm gonna be scaling it differently. Okay, maybe that's our house now. Maybe we change the color slightly of this house. Like this, I have to animate it. I want to apply a different color overall without bothering to animate that. I'm gonna apply a color here, but it's very difficult to see the color that I'm applying. Okay, like this, only this house is visible, so I can apply a different color and see the result. Oh, okay, that's gonna be my new color. And we can do something similar also with copies of the other parts. Alright, I think that's it for this version. I'm gonna duplicate the skeleton directly. I'm gonna be renaming this to Meal Delivery S, so it's the essential version. And this one is going to be the Pro version. Okay, so for the Pro features that this skeleton is going to have, maybe we can complicate just the box, yeah. So mesh, edit mesh, let's trace it. Good result. I'm gonna accept it, and I'm going to add here a side. Basically, I'm dividing these sides here, there. So we have like the front, then here this is one, this is pointing in another direction, this is yet another one. Even better it would be if we could get rid of like these two, so we have less of a burden to control, but it's gonna be okay. Then I'm gonna modify this, because the more it overlaps nicely with the lines, the better results we're going to get. I'm going to add some controls. So I have like a holder bone. Then I'm gonna add a bone that will be the bone that is the closest to us. So I think I'm gonna create a bone that is a child of the box here. Then I'm gonna be calling box control. And for this, I'm gonna parent wing front to it, so that when this moves, the wing follows, so it's attached naturally. And then I'm gonna get the box to be bound, so it follows both the box bone and the box control bone. I think the weights could even be acceptable, but I'm gonna show you how to quickly get them to be nice. So if we create a test animation, new test box, I'm gonna call it. We're going to be moving the box control various ways. So I'll translate it, I don't know, first here. The weights weren't good after all. Then here in the opposite direction, up, down. Okay, and let's see. Let's get this to work now. Right now they are terrible. To get this right, at first, not to be confused, we have to like zero out the weights, because I'm using the system where one side is attached and the other side is the one that is going to deform. The one that is attached is the one in the back of the box, whereas the other one is going to be the one that moves like this, basically as what we're seeing on screen. So I'm going to find the vertices that are going to be the closest to us, which I think are going to be this side. And with this, we already get a 3D effect, like very simple. If we want like to go fancy, because we could also add like a transform constraint that moves this in the opposite direction, that would work. But why should we do such complicated things? We're doing something that isn't in between, also works. Maybe this, I get this to be a tad closer to us for some reason. Oh, this needs for sure to be a tad closer to us actually. So I'm getting a bit more perspective in here. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not aiming for perfection in this case. And maybe because this line goes inwards a bit, it feels like this is sticking out too much. So I'm pushing it in the back a little bit more, so that the closest vertex to us is this one where I placed the control. Since we're here, we could also actually add physics. Let's see what happens if we add physics. let's sprinkle the Pt.2 box control. Physics constraint. And now let's just play the animation. It's already done. Why not? Okay, the work is done. I'm not gonna be doing more. Okay, so next we can focus on the next animation. Meal ready! The one that I was most looking forward to doing. So here it is. I'm gonna not make the blob selectable so I don't accidentally keep clicking on it. And instead I'm gonna select everything else and create a bone for it. Select them all, create bones. So let's go to animate mode. So perhaps around here I'm gonna get all these parts to be separated. Also, the olive should probably be a child of the olive pig. Let's get it to be a child. There are probably other parts that want to be children. These various things should all be children of a bottle. Parent of the bottle base. The fries should also be children of the fry case. Spawn them to the fries case back. And then I'll get these parts to be separated. We start with this. In the middle, which is going to be frame 35, we're going to get the expanded version of these. So here, this down here. Okay, and then it's doing this. Then for the French fries, I can also get one animation of them being animated in and out of the box. I'm gonna get them at the limit. I'm gonna do an artistic composition of these. There you go, my little fry. Okay, so this is the initial ugly animation for the fries. Now I'm gonna apply cures. Then I'm going to copy these frames and here. And I'm gonna offset them so that they are doing this. I'm gonna be doing it like this. Then this does it, but at a slight offset. So it does a sort of a wave motion. Then this. Okay, that's nice. Or maybe I'll just get it to be like this. So it moves with just a little bit. Maybe here I get it slightly higher. For the bottle, I think I'm gonna rotate it. Just a little bit. So it's doing this. Then because we have sparkles, I'm gonna get the sparkles to be animated. I'm gonna duplicate this sparkle, so we have sparkle 3. And I'm gonna position it here. So to animate the sparkles, it's gonna be very simple. We're going to be keying the rotation and translation. I think they should start around here. And by here, their animation is supposed to have ended. At the end of that, I want one sparkle here, one sparkle here, one sparkle here. I want them to perform a full rotation. So for this, I'm in local axis. I'm gonna type +360. Let's see what happens. Yes, that's the idea. Faster. Okay, this is their full scale. And this is where they start. And I want them to start smaller. So I'm gonna make them tiny. I want them to be invisible in the beginning. Fully visible around, I think here. And then in the beginning, I want them invisible. And then at the very beginning also invisible. And at the end here, also invisible. Okay, now they all go in sync. Maybe I make them more visible around here. Sparkle, sparkle, and sparkle. I want them already fully visible here so we can appreciate the animation better. And then because they are going so in sync, I'm going to get maybe this and get it to be a tad longer. I could get them to start from a closer place. Alright, and that's one simple animation that we could have that is done in Spine Essential. We also have the cork that I can unscrew here. But then if I do this, I cannot just rotate the bottle because it looks bad. So I'm not gonna rotate it and I'm going to translate it instead. So I'm gonna get bottle base from here and here to be, I don't know, maybe here. So it goes slightly up. But the cork is sort of sad. Maybe it stays here longer, so I do this. And when it arrives, it's like snappier. Okay, yeah. That looks nicer. Also, we have the bubbles here that we could animate. Here, I'm gonna get them to be around here. And then at the end, they reach here. Oh, that's convenient. And they just do this multiple times. And here they have a stepped curve. I didn't even bother to create transparency keys. It's just like this. This I'm gonna duplicate to make some interesting pro features. Of course, we can add perspective to the box. So cheap, so simple to make, so why not do it? Okay, I want it with way less detail. Okay, I'm gonna delete some keys. Because I made it curved, I cannot do it. I'm gonna keep it this way then. And then here I'm gonna add some lines to make it easier for me to apply different weights. Yeah, there we go. Let's also do the back. Mesh, edit mesh. Let's isolate it, not dim it, because I want to see it. Then we're not gonna be seeing the lines. I guess this is fine. And then, okay, now I dim it. And I create something like this with the vertices so that they create some sort of straight lines here. This is not really necessary because this part is covered by the box, so it's okay like this. I'm gonna use the bones of burger case base and the burger case front. Burger case front should be above so that we get the correct perspective and sorting of vertices. And then I'm gonna bind, okay, there it is. Then in this animation, we're gonna be doing something like this, get it to do this, and we're gonna reattach the parts of the box. So the box is gonna be completely attached to the base at first. Then in the middle, because it's at half the distance, 50-50, we're gonna apply a nice 50 here. Let's get this to be 50 as well, and this to... Now I'm approximating the weights. Then here, these are roughly also at the same distance. I have to add maybe another translation key, that would be convenient. Copy, paste. Okay, that's 50-50, that's great. This is supposed to be 100%. Then this, something maybe like this. Okay, starting to be better. So, see, if I do this, I change the shape of this. Because this is a stylized object, maybe I could keep this. Actually, I want this part here to be slightly more in here, and therefore also this. I push the perspective in the opposite direction. Okay, so it does this. And then when it goes up, it's like beyond. But we can work on the watering here. Well, actually, I could have done this probably simply by scaling this. So doing the scale this way. But this is something that I can also apply to the essential version. And in fact, I think I'm gonna be throwing it in there. One last thing that I could do to the pen could be to make this faster. So this should go faster. Actually, like this, it's already better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so this is how the animations look in the end. We did the essential and the pro versions of them. The first one is the one that is already working in Spine Essential. The rest also has like tiny detail done in Pro, but they could also work completely fine in Spine Essential. We've seen that this can be a great tool for your apps. But yeah, this was the editor part, so in case you need to replicate animations that look like this, you see how easy it can be to create this style of animations. Thank you again for following until now this stream. I'll see you next time.